You test at the end of a course. That doesn't tell you anything about whether or not they actually learned what you just taught them. Let's look at change in behavior. How are you influencing your employees' ability to change what they do and how they do it? And we said, okay, so we train reps all the time. We have new hire courses going all the time. So what if we could normalize the data of what we see that reps produce over the course of their first year? So what if we could take all that data and say, okay, so you started in January, but you started in April, that equals month one, and we normalize that data, and we see in the first month that you worked here, this is how much revenue you generate. And in the second month and in the third month, and we get a chart that looks something like this, that shows us across the first year, how much revenue do you generate? And I thought, okay, this tells part of the story, but I want to know the other part. So we did a survey out to the field, and then I overlaid what we learned from that survey on these numbers. And this is what we found out. You notice that after the reps are confident, all of a sudden that revenue begins to climb. Let's look at that revenue that exists for someone just at baseline. And let's look at what happens to revenue that they generate when they're confident in their ability to do the job, and we look at that gap. That gap that exists represents the value that I can provide if I can find a way to drive rep confidence and their ability to do the job. Every month I can move confidence closer to sign-off represents revenue that's not realized because of their lack of confidence. So where does that confidence come from? Allego's done a good job of outlining kind of all the use cases, all the ability that the software has and presents for us to be able to go in and provide content for our reps. And we started to build up a library, and people loved it. I didn't ask them to do anything. All I did is I put content on there and said, if you have a question, go to Allego. And they could go there and they could search, and when they searched what their question was, it would pop up the videos they were looking for. We tagged our videos with everything. We tagged it with the name of the product. We tagged them with the idea that we were trying to cover. Most of our content's tagged with Travis in a yellow shirt. Because sometimes that's all they remembered is that there was a video where you were wearing a yellow shirt. I'm just kidding. I never wear yellow. But if that's what they remembered, they could search and they could find it. It's the only functional search bar in our entire organization is the one on Allego, because it was easy for them to find it. We use Allego to bridge the gap. There are gaps that exist between those who create content in our organization and those who need it the most. What I can tell you is in a world of inches, we are driving about 98% compliance on every video that's been launched. We also are actually just about to cross the 300,000 view mark on videos that have been shared. If I had published those to YouTube, I'd be retired by now, but I didn't. I published them to Allego instead.